We are going out 3 days from this week.
Oh, good.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome. That cough and clear was the remnants of my entry into Melbourne winter. We know that there are lots who are still kind of making their way through it. As I said to Tammy, I said when we called it up this afternoon for the first time today, lots of text messages coming through saying, Shabbat Shalom, how are you? Sorry, can't make it tonight. Been in bed, can you please stream? And so, as I say each Shabbat, we're lucky to have this technology. We actually forgot to charge it, which is why in the room you can see there's a cord. How to plug it in. But we're happy if people want to share Shabbat with us but can't physically be here to be able to send it out through our various platforms. We're going to just take a moment to kind of walk our way into this space. On page 4 by welcoming Shabbat with the words of Shalom Aleichem. 2. Yeah, 2. 2 is what I meant.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hashem, Malachei
So from that song about angels and reminding us of the beauty of Shabbat and the importance of preparing for Shabbat, we wanted to just take a moment to give thanks for being able to be together. We're on page 4, and the psalm that we offer to celebrate our togetherness is perhaps one of the most well-known verses out of any of the psalms. How great, how wonderful it is that we can be together. In Hebrew, it says achim. When brothers can sit together, it says that because they were responding to all the conflict that all these brothers had through the book of Genesis. Each generation seemed to have conflicts until finally we got to Joseph's boys, to Ephraim and Manasseh, who finally learned how to sit down and be happy together. But really, it's talking about all people and telling us how important it is for us to be able to see and meet the other as they are and to celebrate them for who they are. And that's why we preface these words by acknowledging the privilege that we have to be gathered here on this sacred land and pay our respects to its traditional owners, the Wurundjeri people and Burrung people of the East Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to the elders past, present and evolving. For we know that they hold the memories, traditions, cultures and hopes of First Nations peoples across this land. May the time soon come when their voice, as well as their story and their songlines, are genuinely heard we can sit down together with them, just like we're taught in the Psalms. So with those songs of welcome and acknowledgement, we find ourselves at the start of the Psalms of Kabbalat Shabbat. We're on the top of page 5, beginning first with Psalm 95, 96, and 97. As we think back to the week that was, since last we had the pause and the rest of Shabbat. We think of Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, the things that lifted us up through the week, as well as the other things we're happy to have left behind.
The meaning of Shabbat. The meaning of Shabbat, we are taught, is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week we live under the tyranny of things of space. And on Shabbat we try to become attuned to the holiness in time. It's a day on which we are called upon to share in what is eternal in time. To turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation. To turn, if we can, only for an hour or so, from our obsession with the creation of the world to a world in which we really appreciate creation. Psalm 98, Psalm 99, and Psalm 29. As we think back of Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. On the foot of page 7, Psalm 29. It's one of the psalms, traditional psalms of Shabbat. I think it's the greatest psalm for winter. It seems like any bit of wind can kind of blow us away. We want the strength to be able to be blessed with health as well as peace. As much health is a pathway to peace. So having moved our way through the Psalms and Kabbalah Shabbat, having reflected on each of the days that they represent and the things that have punctuated our week, both good and bad, we find ourselves at the top of page 8, with perhaps one of the most well-known anthems of Shabbat, L'Chavodi. Rise and face the door to welcome Shabbat. So as I get ready to wish you all Shabbat Shalom, not quite yet. We need to offer Tammy's choice of Psalm 92 of Exodus 31. Our psalm for Shabbat. I want to invite those who might not have another opportunity this evening, if you'd like to kindle Hashem's Shabbat lights there and candles, and just on entry into the Shtiebel. Shabbat shalom. So before we make our way into Mari, before we pause to think about those who we've loved and who we've lost, and we'll certainly do that on page 10 and 11 in a few moments' time. I want to recognize, as we have some 220, too many, 222 days, and our world got turned upside down on October 7th. And we're not sure exactly how and if it will ever return back to its previous axis of orbit. But what we know is that there are far too many families who live in the unknown, whose lives have paused since October 7th. And so, before we think about those who have been lost, before we think about those who so desperately need peace, we think of those who are in captivity, the missing and those being held hostage. Since Pesach, we've been offering the words that are over my right shoulder that we found as part of Project Butterfly. Achim, our brothers, all the house of Israel, all who are in distress and captivity, all standing between the sea and dry land. May the eternal mercy have compassion upon them. Bring them out of distress to relief, from darkness to light, and from subjugation to redemption. Now, swiftly, and in the near future. So, as we turn from those whose fate is unknown, we think about those whose fate, unfortunately, is all too well known to us, to those who we've loved and who we've lost. My teacher, Rabbi Sandy Reagan's once taught, mourning is the price we pay for having the courage to love others. Even in grief, we know that the wonder of human life is too complex and too magnificent to be memorialized in endless pain. The gifts of spirit that our loved ones gave us cannot be measured or weighed, nor can they be lost or even tarnished by time. Even in our darkest hours, we know that some of their light, some of their warmth will always be with us, bringing comfort and courage in the fullness of time, healing and peace. I rise first in memory of those who passed in the last 7 days, and whose shiva we're still observing as a community. If you're remembering someone dear to you who passed in the last 7 days, then I invite you to stand with me. We then stretch our circle of remembrance, our paths of righteousness, our Magret Tzedek out a little further. And think of those who passed in the last 30 days and whose shoshim we're still observing. If you're remembering someone dear to you who you've loved and have lost and has passed in the last 30 days, then I invite you to rise with me now in remembrance. And then we extend our circle of remembrance out one step further, thinking about those who we have loved and who we've lost in the last year, and whose anniversary of their passing has not yet arrived. If you are in the period of our Lord, then I invite you to stand with us. And finally, we think about those who passed at this season in years gone by, whose life we try to give honor to as we live our lives as they did on their very best days. If you're observing your side, then I invite you to stand with us. And then finally, if you are comfortable doing so, I invite you to stand with us in remembrance of all of those who we have loved and lost as we honor the words of Ish. Yikadaru Yikadash Meraba, Amad Yirach Yirtzegam Lichmochotei, Lechon V'Mechon, Karichon Beit Yisrael, Ba'alav Isman Kariv V'Yirubim, Ish Me'Yabam Barach L'Am V'Maria, Yibarach Ishtav V'Av V'Toman V'Naseh, V'Chatav V'Talei V'Talal Shnei Kodesham Rechu, V'Am Kol V'Chatav V'Shiratav, V'Chatav V'Nechinatav, Amen. Eish B'Rabban Shema, Karim Aleinu, Kol Yisrael, V'Miru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'Rama, Uya Oseh Shalom Aleinu, Kol Yisrael. May the one who causes peace to reign in the heavens bring peace to all of us, and particularly bring peace to those who we remember.
Oseh Shalom V'Rama, Uya Oseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'Rama, Uya Oseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu le'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu le'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu le'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu le'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom.
standing from page 12 for call to prayer.
Baruch Adonai Mevorach. Baruch Adonai Mevorach Leolam Va'ed.
We see we continue with the evening prayer, the Ma'arif Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bivaro ma'ariv v'arafim v'chokma potech sha'arim ובדבריו משנה עצים, ומחליף את הזמנים ומסדר את הכוכבים, משמרותיהם מרקיע כרצונו, בורא יום ולילה, ולאור מפני חושך, וחושך מפני אור, ומעביר יום ובין לילה, ומבדיל בין יום ובין לילה, אדוני צבאות שמו, אל חי וקיים תמיד ימלוך עלינו לעולם ועד, ברוך אתה אדוני, המעריב ערבים.
Avat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Ata Torah Mitzvot Chukim U'Mishpatim Otanu Limadeta Haken Adonai Eloheinu V'shobeinu Ektumeinu Nasiach b'pecha, v'nitzvah b'nektartecha, u'emitzvotecha v'lam va'ed, ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, u'hem negeinu olam v'layla, v'ahatecha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai ohev amo Yisrael. וקשרתם לאמות ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בעיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור, דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת עליהם, ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי ביתיהם לתורתם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף ותלתכם, והיה לכם לציצית Horitem Oto, Uskatem Kol Mitzvot, Otonai, Vasitem Otam, Velotatu Ulu, Acharei Devachem, Acharei Nechem, Asher Tzonim Achareihem, L'ma'am Tizkeru, Vasitem Kol Mitzvotai, Vitem Kedoshim Elohechem, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti Etchem, Me'eretz Mitzrayim, V'yot Lachem Elohim, Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem. Moses Yemim Wallah, Wallah Yemla Yabot, Narabu Afirayim Narabu Afirayim Narabu
Shivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom, Amdenu Akeinu L'chaim. Eternal One, grant us that we may lie down in peace and waken to life renewed. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. May we always be guided by your good counsel. For your name's sake, be our help. Shield us from foes against plague and destruction and sorrow. Distance us from wrongdoing. For you, Eternal One, watch over us and deliver us. For you, Eternal One, are gracious and merciful, guiding our going and our coming to life and peace evermore. Baruch atah Adonai, Shomer Yisrael La'ad, blessed you, Eternal One, protects and guards over the people of Israel forever. On page 18 and those that follow, we arrive at the Amidah, our standing prayer. On Shabbat, as many of you know well, all the requests are taken out of our tefillah, all the bakashot. We left only with the appreciations, the prayers of gratitude and acknowledgement, starting with lineage and heritage, then appreciating the wonder and greatness of the eternal and the holiness of this tradition and the extension of that, the holiness of this day of Shabbat. With all of that, we then pause and give thanks. Give thanks to the Ratzeh for our ability to serve and to worship. Give thanks for the many blessings in our life through the Hora'ah. And then, even though we promised that on Shabbat we wouldn't ask God to work, we slip in one almost request. little bit of peace, a bit of shalom. We're going to make our way through the Amidah. Personally and privately, you might choose to offer the traditional liturgy in English or in Hebrew. You might choose to meditate on one or more of the prayers and just take a few moments for yourself. Before we close our service with Sium Tefillah, just make a couple of quick announcements. Tomorrow, we have a busy day actually. An earlier prayer conversation, 12:30, for lunch, and chats.
No lunch shakes.
No lamb shanks?
Did you say lunch shakes?
No, I said lunch.
Lamb shakes?
If you got lamb shanks, I'll take it.
No.
With milkshakes
There's-
and lamb.
There's hold on.
We're having a good conversation. They'll be sustained in a whole variety of ways. And then later in the day, particularly for those of you who might be thirsty, we have a bar mitzvah tomorrow afternoon. I say thirsty because we checked in with the mother of the bar mitzvah about 5 o'clock today, and she was at Costco because she was worried there wasn't enough to drink. After we already couldn't fill the fridge with all the beverages that we had. So, if you're thirsty, tomorrow afternoon, Shtiebel's the place to be. I can say that because I know this particular mother would not mind. That's true. They ever joined the game to celebrate with some of Elijah's influence. And then on into really the final week of the Omer as we get very, very close to Shavuot. We have not made a habit of counting the Omer on Friday nights here. That's part of that way for us to try and embrace authenticity. If we don't count each night, then counting once a week is not what it's about. It's a 7 times 7, 40-day count that finishes not this Tuesday, but the following Tuesday with Shavuot. And we have a whole host of Shavuot activities beginning at, I want to say 5 o'clock. Yeah, pretty confident. Pretty confident it's 5. Pretty confident it's 5 o'clock. A whole host of activities that explore the various themes of Shavuot. It's not just for the young or young at heart. There are a variety of different activities that will lead into a Shavuot evening service, a festive evening service, and then for those who have the energy and interest, while we won't go late, I'll certainly begin a night of study with a text study on the concept of chosenness. I know there are a lot of people in the world in which we're living right now asking that very Jewish question: is this really what we were chosen for? And so we're going to explore that idea of chosenness and all the various, some of the stories and narratives around that. So that's next Tuesday. Next Tuesday as we move into Shavuot. I get Shavuot mixed up with the start of ski season in my household. So I go dairy and everyone else goes snow. So it's very confusing. But there's lots to enjoy over the coming weeks. Do you understand? I will say there were a couple of you here last week. It was wonderful to welcome Shneir, Akila, and Shama. Gave us the opportunity to be in the chairs, we community, not just leading services, which is lovely. She is going to be returning with Alex and Simon on the 14th of June for another Shama Shabbat, and then continuing in July on the last Shabbat of the month. Sometimes the 4th, sometimes the 5th, the last Shabbat of the month. For those who are interested in joining in that. Very, very musical. Well, this is not musical, this is musical too, but there's a different vibe, that celebration of Shabbat. We're going to close on page 27 with a reminder that the world as it is not always the way the world was, nor does it necessarily have to be the world always will be. And a child reminded us of that. In spite of everything I am, Frank. It really is a wonder that I haven't dropped all my ideas, because they seem so absurd and impossible to carry out. Yet I keep them, because in spite of everything, I still believe that people are really good at art. I simply cannot build my hopes on a foundation of confusion, misery, and death. I see the world gradually being turned into a wilderness. I hear the approaching thunder. I can feel the suffering of millions, and yet if I look up into the heavens, I think that will all come out right one of these days. That this cruelty will end, and that peace and tranquility will return again. In the meantime, I must hold on to my ideals. Perhaps the day will come by Yom Ha'u when I shall be able to carry them out. In the meantime, we must all hold on to our ideals. Perhaps the day will come when we will be able to carry them out. And as we transition into Hayasham, Alex is kind enough pouring us some wine and grape juice for Kiddush. Raf insists that we all object so loudly that we have the wrong color. So thank you for that too. I'm just observing to myself how much I love the fact that we start to another 5 o'clock on Friday afternoon. The sun's having his moments tomorrow. It didn't lie to us about what she was doing. In the past, I don't think I would have had that conversation. And I'm lucky we are able to do this the way we are. The old, it's certainly becoming new. And I'm pretty convinced that this new thing is becoming old. הישן יתחדש, והחדש יתקדש. Please rise for the Dush. Yes, I know you know it by heart. The whole point of working on the Hebrew. So if you practice, read it. So if you read there, please. And the sharps. No, because we worked on the reading. That's not Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam borei pari hagafim.
Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. It's all right, I wasn't sure you quite had it right, so you mind doing this one too?
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam habarti lechem min ha'aretz.
Amen.
Okay, you got those cats right. Good. Let's go. Now you guys can follow us real well. Shabbat shalom, everyone.
Shalom.